What's up, family? Man, I want to continue our series on the 12 universal laws or the 12 laws of the universe. And um, the next one we're going to talk about is going to be the law of rhythm. The law of rhythm. Man, we have to understand that there is a harmonic balance. There is a balance in everything. You know what I mean? There is a frequency, a vibration in everything. Stay with me. We're going to go somewhere. It's going to get live. It's going to get kind of deep. All right. Stay with me, though. When you look at nature, nature teaches us is that there is a vibration, there is a balance to everything. To everything, there is a balance. And when there's a break in that balance, chaos comes in. It appears to be chaos. It comes in to show that there's a break. And then after that break, after that chaotic experiment, that chaotic event, man, things come back into balance again. Man, there's a big fire, just a lightning fire, and it hits the ground, and man, it's just chaos. Everything's burning up. That's that chaotic event. Oh, and after that, the healing takes place in the land. The grass, the trees, the plants begin to bloom and blossom after that chaotic event. Balance is restored. Balance is always restored in nature. For us, it's different because we're hard-headed. You know what I mean? For us, we won't pay attention to the signs. For us, we won't get in alignment with God, Source, Universe, the Most High, and get in alignment with it and become balanced. Because we think we know so much, because we think we're so much smarter than what we really are. We live a life out of balance. Whether you study the yin yang, when you look at the yin yang, the dark and the light, the yin yang is always moving. It's always spiraling. And that shows that, man, motion, energy is always moving, it's always doing something. And to live in complete balance, you're going to have that dark and that light. There's always going to be dark and light. So many of us, we think, man, I got to get rid of all the darkness out of me, and I got to. You're always going to have that dark side to you. It's a part of who you are. And that's okay. Accept it and move on. Accept it and move on. When you look at the day, the sun's up and it's shining bright. And then the sun starts to set. Talking about the law of harmony. The sun starts to set. The moon is up. The stars are out. If the sun doesn't set, you can't see how bright the moon and the stars are. The stars and the moon are always in the sky. But you can't see how bright they are until the sun goes down. The sun has to set in order for you to see how bright the moon and the stars are. Balance. Balance. The question is, are you living in harmony? Are you living the law of rhythm? Are you living in the law of rhythm? Are you, you know what I mean? Are you flowing with nature? Are you flowing with God, with Source, the universe, the Most High? There's always that ebb and flow. But most of us are always fighting against it. We're resisting it. Because the great majority, we don't understand it and we don't like it. The Bible talks about, man, there's a time to gain and a time to lose, a time to laugh and a time to weep. Why? Because that's the natural flow. That's a rhythmic flow. That's a harmonic balance. There's a time to be born and a time to die. That's the natural flow of life. There's times where you're going to feel high, good about life, and times you're going to feel, I'm not feeling my best. Something there is just, it just don't feel right. I just don't feel good. You know what I mean? Man, let me go within. Let me try to figure this out. I, I'm not sad, but I'm not really happy. You know what I mean? I'm not mad about nothing. I'm not really tripping about anything, but I just don't know what it is. It's just, I'm just not feeling 100%. I'm just not feeling my best. I'm just really not real happy right now, but I don't know why. You know what I mean? That's natural. That's natural. That's the natural ebb and flow of life. But what most of us try to do, we try to force that happiness. And many of us will try to force that happiness by taking pills, by drinking, by doing other things. Try to force ourselves to be happy. You ain't got to force yourself to be happy. Just sit back and relax and go with the flow. Go with the flow of the natural flow of the universe. Yes, be grateful. Be grateful. Even when you're at that low, even with that, I don't know what it is, be grateful. I've said this all the time. Gratitude is the cheat code for life. Gratitude is what's going to get you out of that funk, out of that, back into that flow of joy and happiness and peace. Gratitude. See, because sometimes you got to go through that, I don't know. And that's when you have to pull out that gratitude. That's when you have to dig deep and say, man, okay, you know what? I don't feel my best. I don't look my best, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful because, man, I've been worse. I'm grateful because I understand the laws of the universe and I understand that this is a natural season to be in. Just like when the four seasons of nature, man, you got winter, summer, spring, and fall. Summertime, you're in spring, you're all energetic. Winter, man, it get cold as crap in some places. You got to bundle up. Sometimes you don't even feel like going outside because it's too cold. That's natural. Natural. It's natural to want to, man, let me just stay in and hibernate for a few days. Because, man, it's 30 degrees, it's 20 below zero. This stuff ain't cutting it. You know what I mean? Man, let me stay in with the heat, with some tea, whatever. Man, let me just chill out for a little bit. Let me do some stuff inside. Let me do some stuff inside. Inside. Let me chill out. Let me rest and just relax and just, ah, woosah. That's natural. That's a natural balance in life. That's natural to want to take some time off. It's natural for the trees and the flowers to lose their blossoms, their leaves, and fall. That's natural for the tree in spring to blossom and to grow and have all these flowers and leaves, and for them to be at full show in summertime. And then in fall, they start turning colors. dying and falling off the trees. And then in winter, the trees are barren. That's natural. You're going to win and you're going to lose. You're going to be full of light and you're going to be full of darkness. That's natural. That's harmony. That's balance. We have to grow up and understand that. So often we've associated darkness with bad, darkness with evil, loss with bad, barren with bad. We've looked at all these people with all this money, and man, they're always happy, and they're always da 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 da, and I ain't got da 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 da, and my life ain't as fulfilling, my life ain't as da da da, and we do, and we looked at everything, comparison ourselves. Man, I just talked about the law of relativity yesterday. We looked at ourselves and compared ourselves, not even understanding the balance, not even understanding the rhythm, the law of rhythm, the law of harmony. How are you living your life? How are you living your life? Man, I talked about, man, this year, the beginning of this year, oh my God, it was so chaotic and just frustrating and just loss after loss after loss and just all the stuff that I went through. The abandonment, the rejection, the pain, the suffering. I talked about that stuff and man, in great extent. And what God had to show me is, Elijah, pump your brakes, bro. Relax. I know you got your heart broke. I know you were frustrated and disappointed. I know you was mad and angry. But don't allow your emotions to override what's going on. Don't allow your emotions to get you out of your natural rhythm. Don't allow your emotions to fuck up what I got planned for you. Understand that this is a part of the season. This is part of your life. This is part of the natural flow. You don't understand it's part of the natural flow. This is part of the natural flow. This is part of the natural rhythm of your life. You don't understand that. You can't see that yet because you're in the middle of the fire. When you're in the middle of the fire, all you see around you is flames. When you're in the middle of the fire, all you see around you is pain and suffering and loss. And so you can't see that there's a harmonic balance to the hail and the chaos you're going through. You can't see the future. You can't see all the gains you're going to take, all the gains you're going to have if you stay connected, if you stay in balance. For many of us, though, we get stuck in the chaos. We get stuck in the hail. We get stuck in the trauma and the pain and the loss. And we become ungrateful and bitter and angry and hellish. Our whole frequency changes and becomes that which we're in. We're in a situation of hell, a situation of things being burnt off of us, things been taken away from us. Why? Because God, nature, source is chiseling some stuff away from us. We're going through the fire. We're like that piece of coal up under pressure. We're up under so much fucking pressure. Now we can't handle the pressure, so we think. What many of us do, we fuck off our future and everything we're capable of being because we fold and break under the pressure, not understanding the pressure was never there to destroy you. It was always there to take off the rough edges, always there to reveal your true nature. And your true nature has always been you're a diamond in the rough. You're a piece of pure gold. You just couldn't see your shine. You couldn't see that you're gold because you're so filled with mud and dirt and all this other stuff on top of you. And the fire was there to burn away everything that wasn't gold. And we took the fire as God been mad at me. We took the fire and the pressure as God hating me and God been against me and the whole world's against me and fuck my life. My life sucks and because we're completely ignorant of the fact that this is a natural flow. This is rhythmic. This is harmony. This is nature revealing to us who we really are. And so many of us, man, we've gotten stuck there. And when you get stuck there, you keep going through the same things over and over and over and over. You never get out of that. Your whole life is just that. Because you never learned the lesson. You never grew up. And so that's how you spend your whole life. Mad as fuck. Angry as hell. Bitter. Resentful. And the trip is, some of us grow up in toxic situations like that. And that becomes natural for us. Oh, we're going there today. That becomes natural for us to live in chaos and turmoil, to live in hellish situations. And then when somebody comes along and they're trying to present something a lot better than that, they're trying to give you options of, man, a better life. You don't know how to handle that. You fuck that up too. Why? Because they're trying to show you life can be so much better than what you're used to. Every guy ain't gonna fuck you over like all the guys in your past. Every woman ain't gonna dog you the fuck out. Every woman ain't gonna mistreat you and disrespect you and cheat on you. And we don't know how to handle that because we're so used to this hellish situation. We're so used to the bullshit of life. We don't understand that it was just supposed to be a season. But we keep extending that season. We keep extending our seasons of loss, of pain, of trauma, of suffering. We've made our whole life that season because we didn't understand that it was just a season that we're supposed to be passing through, a season that we're supposed to be growing through, a season that was supposed to make us better, not bitter. The law of rhythm. We have to grow up. We have to understand there's a natural ebb and flow to the waves. The lakes, the rivers, they move at a natural rhythm. Everything in nature has an ebb and flow. Everything in nature has a rhythm to it, a natural rhythm to it. You hear me talk a lot about being mindful of the shit you entertain, the shit you watch, the shit you listen to. There's a rhythm to that too. And if you're not careful, that frequency will fuck up your DNA. That frequency, that vibration will mess up your spirit. It'll mess up your harmony, your natural harmony for your body. Your body has a natural harmonic rhythm to it. Your heart beats at a certain rate. Your blood flows at a certain rate. Your body operates at its optimum level at a certain rate, at a certain frequency. And when you don't understand this shit and you listen and watch stupid ass shit on TV and the music is fucked up and garbage, you're putting that fucking low vibration frequency into your frequency, and your harmonic balance changes to this toxic bullshit. And then you wonder why you ain't got no peace and joy. You wonder why everything is fucking chaotic in your life now. You wonder why. What the fuck is going on? I can't control shit. And everything is fucked up. Everything is chaotic because you've introduced this chaotic frequency into your fucking life. And it's not natural for you. It's not the vibration or frequency you're supposed to be on. And so your life is in chaos because of choices you've made, the shit you've entertained, the shit you do. This is why you hear me talking about going out into nature all the time. Listening to the water, listening to the birds, touching the water, touching the trees and the plants, being quiet, becoming one with nature, becoming one with yourself. To become one with yourself, man, you got to be on the right rhythm. You got to be on the right vibration, on the right frequency. This is how you know yourself. This is when you've completely connected with that little kid inside of you. This is when you've tapped into God, source, the greater good, the greater version of yourself. This is when you can understand the law of rhythm and you understand, man. Ah, I can be. I can just be. I have a teacup around here somewhere. Live in the moment. Live in the moment. I don't have to be worried about tomorrow. I don't have to be scared or terrified of tomorrow. I can live in the moment. I can live in the now and just be full of peace, full of happiness. Talking to a beautiful soul yesterday from England. And we was talking about a whole lot of things, the law of harmony, man, the law of rhythm, talking about, man, living in the moment, the fear that we have, and why we have to try to control shit. See, most of us try to control shit because we have undealt with trauma, undealt with pain and suffering, things we've been hurt in the past. And so we try to limit our exposure to being hurt. We try to control things so we don't get rejected and abandoned again. So we don't take another loss. That's not living in the flow of the law of rhythm, the law of harmony. That's violating the law of rhythm. That's violating the law of harmonic balance for you. Because you're trying to control what shouldn't be controlled. You're trying to control what you can't really control. Because you're out of balance. Because you're out of balance. You're not really living in the future. You're living in the past. You're not living in the present. You're living in the past. Because something happened to you in the past and it's got you fucked up. Something happened to you in the past and it's got you traumatized. Something happened to you in the past and it's got you terrified. And so now in your present, you're trying to control every fucking thing so you don't get hurt again. So you don't get dogged out again. So you don't get cheated on again. So you don't get taken advantage of again. Because you don't understand the natural flow of life. There's a time to gain and there's a time to lose. There's a time to be born and there's a time to die. There's a time for laughter and there's a time for weeping. That's natural. Nature teaches us this in every aspect of life. The problem is we don't understand the 12 laws of the universe. We don't understand how they apply to our life. And so we think we can control things. We think that everything is going to always be good. We think that, man, because I'm working on me, I should always be happy. Because I've done shadow work, I should always have peace and joy and happiness. That's not natural. That's not natural. Just like it's not natural for you to always be sad and depressed. That's not natural either. Tomorrow, we're going to pick up with the law of polarity. The law of polarity. And we're going to talk about that. How, man, severe depression, always sad, and the other extreme of always happy. Those are extremes. That's not natural. The natural rhythm of life is a balance in between. Somewhere in between the deep depression of suicide, the thoughts of suicide, and the overwhelming joy. We'll pick that up tomorrow. Man, I hope and pray that I've said something today to encourage you, to inspire you, to challenge your way of thinking. Man, we have to grow up. And part of understanding who we are, part of learning who we are, is understanding our rhythm. What is our rhythm? What is our song? What is our vibration? What is our natural song? What is our natural rhythm? Because we could create one too, and it's a fraud. It's going to give you a life of chaos, a life of hell, a life of pain, endless pain, endless suffering, until you break free of that rhythm, until you break free of that vibration, until you break free of that frequency and come back home. Come back home to God. Come back home to Source, the universe. Come back home to your natural flow, your natural rhythm. Man, I love you guys. The God in me sees the God in you. Namaste. Happy healing. Peace.